Good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending our live 2020 CSUSB Graduate Program Expo. My name is Jacqueline Aguayo, and I am the event coordinator for the Career Center, along with my colleague, John Paul Hernandez, our employer relations specialist for the Career Center. John, do you want to say good morning?
Good morning, everyone.
Thank you, John. Just so everybody knows, today we will be both both of us, we will be your hosts for today's virtual event. And very quickly, before I give the floor over to our presenters for today's session, this live webinar will be recorded and will be shared to your student email, and the videos will also be available in our Career Center's YouTube channel. Before we get started, I want to go over the functions available to you during the presentation. Your microphone will be muted throughout the presentation, and the bottom center of your screen, you will see a Q&A chat option. This is where you can ask questions throughout the presentation. So as our presenters are presenting their information of their college, please go ahead and type in your questions as they come in so you don't have to wait towards the end of the presentation. Our presenters will have the option to go over the questions throughout the presentation or after the presentation for the Q&A session. Now I will turn it over to our presenters from the College of Arts and Letters.
All right. Hi, I'm Paris Dufayes, and I am the Interim Associate Dean of the College of Art and Letters. I'd like to just quickly share my screen with you. Sorry. So I'm here today with our four wonderful grad program coordinators, Professor Rafael Correa, Professor T.C. Corrigan, Professor Jessica Luck, and Professor Allison Raguette, and I'm Paris Dufayes. Just very quickly to give you an idea of who we are in our college, the College of Arts and Letters is the home of the departments of Art and Design, Communication Studies, English, Liberal Studies, Music, Philosophy, Theater Arts, and World Languages and Literature. And we are also the home of our great art museum, RAFMA, and Coyote Radio. If you need more information of those, I'm happy to provide information on those too. We have four graduate programs in our college: Art and Design, Communication Studies, English and Writing Studies, and Spanish. And the coordinators for each of those programs will tell you more about their program. But just very quickly, one thing that I can tell you overall about our programs is that we have a very small student-faculty ratio, which means that we have small classes and we have a very close and strong mentorship in our programs by our dedicated faculty. So with that, I'll ask Professor Allison Raguette to talk about our MFA program, and I'll stop sharing my my screen with you.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Hopefully you can see my screen here. Yes, so my name is Allison Petty-Raguette. I'm a professor in the Department of Art and Design, and I'm also the graduate coordinator for the Masters of Fine Arts program. And I'm going to take you on a quick virtual tour of our program and department. Just bear with me. So this is our building on a beautiful winter day, and we will get back there someday soon, hopefully. And let's see, we have a three-year program. It's a Master's of Fine Arts degree. And typically we have about 14 to 18 students at any one time. And I'm going to take you on a quick tour of our facilities. So I was asked to share. Can you all see my PowerPoint now? No. Hang on. Share screen. Okay, better? Good, okay. So another highlight to our department is that we have a wonderful fab lab full of cutting edge 3D fabrication equipment. We have a universal laser cutter with filtration. We have milling machines, CNC tables, several 3D printers, MakerBots, 3D scanners, VR headset for sculpting, and a metal lathe, wood shop machines, sheet fabrication machines. And so why pursue an MFA degree at the Art and Design Department at CSUSB? We have the best facilities in the CSU system and beyond. We have 100,000 square feet of facilities. It's like a private art school with education at a much lower cost. And we have professors who are successful professionals and excellent teachers. And by the way, do you know Catherine Gray? She's got her own Netflix series called Blown Away about glass blowing. Check it out. She's one of our professors. And finally, our art facilities are open nights and weekends. We have glass blowing, bronze casting, public art, video art, illustration, and furniture design. We have art scholarships and awards, and we have a world-class art museum exhibiting opportunities and galleries for students. And we have active student-run groups that do special events and projects throughout the year. So don't hesitate to get in touch with me if you have any questions about the MFA program.
All right. So thank you, Allison. That was fantastic. Next I'm going to ask Professor Corrigan to talk about our MA program in Communication Studies.
All right, thank you very much. Let me just share my screen here. Let's put on the slideshow. That shows my notes though, doesn't it? No? Yes? All right, maybe you'll see that I'm reading, which is, you know, the exact thing that we tell our oral communication students not to do. So this is the what not to do presentation, I guess. So hi everyone, my name is Dr. Thomas Corrigan. I'm a faculty member in the Department of Communication Studies at CSUSB, and I'm the graduate coordinator for the Master of Arts in Communication Studies graduate program. Oops, advance. So in communication studies, what sorts of questions and phenomena can you explore? So some typical sorts of questions that researchers and students in our program examine are things like, what are the effects of violent and sexual media content on children? How do marginalized communities use social media to seek justice? How should organizations navigate public relations crises? And a particularly salient question these days, how can teachers create a sense of presence in remote learning environments? Right. Just, some sort of sample sorts of questions that students in our area might explore. So some program highlights. We are a generalist program, and so you can pursue your degree in our program in a flexible, interdisciplinary, and rigorous program. Also, we have a mix of social scientific and humanistic research or scholars in our program. So folks come at things from different angles. We have award-winning faculty with expertise in a range of different communication areas, from film and digital media to strategic and activist communication, interpersonal and health communication, among others. Profiled here is Dr. Aflam Mutaseb, who teaches in our media studies and strategic communication courses, and she recently won CSUSB's campus-wide award for outstanding scholarship, research, and creative activities. We're very proud of her. In addition to coursework, our graduate students have a choice of culminating experience options, including writing a master's thesis on a topic of their choice under the guidance of a department faculty member, completing a graduate project, such as a documentary, a policy proposal, or an organizational handbook, which is a particularly popular option among communication professionals. Or to pursue a comprehensive examination, which can be an efficient but no less rigorous option for wrapping up our program. Other program highlights are our competitive and highly successful graduate teaching associate program, where select graduate students learn to teach communication courses, and they also teach their own sections of our undergraduate oral communication courses where they earn a stipend. Many of our GTAs go on to careers teaching in the California Community College system, the Cal State system, or to pursue their doctoral studies. So what can you do with a master's degree in communication studies? Well, our alumni tend to gravitate into one of three career trajectories. Some work as communication professionals, either in the private or public sector, in careers like public relations, human resources, crisis communication, and related areas. Others, as I mentioned, enjoy careers in teaching communication or related topics, particularly at the community college level. We have many who've moved through our GTA program into tenured positions in the California Community College system. And finally, our graduate students have had really tremendous success of late securing positions, funded positions in top doctoral programs. Just this past year, 3 of our alums, Andre Adame, Ariana Cano, and Luisa Esparza, have earned doctoral position or funded doctoral positions at UC Irvine School of Informatics, the University of Illinois Institute for Communication Research, and University of New Mexico's Chicana and Chicano Studies programs, respectively. So with that, if you're interested in pursuing a master's degree in communication studies,
Thank you so much, Professor Kurgan. Next, Professor Jessica Luck will give us an overview of our MA program in English and Writing Studies.
All right. I don't know if TC has to stop sharing his or if I can just take over.
I can.
I don't know how that works, but I'll do it. Okay. All right. All right, are y'all seeing my screen there? So I'm the coordinator for the MA in English and Writing Studies. We actually just got a new name because we did a lot of revising of our program and our curriculum during the transition from quarters to semesters. So we're now known as the MA in English and Writing Studies. So we have 1 degree, but 5 different concentrations that you can choose from. The first one is Applied Linguistics and TESOL, which stands for Teaching English as a Second Language. Composition and Rhetoric, which is the one that I think some students are like, oh, wait, what is that exactly? So it's basically the study of writing and how written texts work rhetorically in the world, how historical and social conditions affect how we construct meaning as we write and read, and of course, how to better teach writing. The literature concentration, which is the one that I also am the coordinator for, which allows students to study whatever kinds of literature they're excited about, taking whatever approaches that they're interested in. And we have 2 new concentrations that we're excited about in our new curriculum that are really interdisciplinary. So it allows students to kind of sample from all 3 of those disciplines If they're really interested in focusing intensively on teaching, on pedagogy, then you could take classes in applied linguistics on teaching English as a second language, also on how to teach literature, how to teach creative writing. You could really specialize in that. But then we also know that a lot of English folks are not interested in teaching. That's what everyone asks you if you're an English major, right? Oh, you want to be a teacher? It's like, well, actually, English is this super flexible, amazing, most of our degrees in the College of Arts and Letters will prepare you for all kinds of potential careers, right? Because we teach you how to think, how to write, how to analyze, everything that that people looking for workers these days are looking for. So, but some people are really interested in focusing on writing. So we have a new concentration in public and professional writing that allows you to think through, multiple modalities and genres within public and professional contexts. So we're excited about these two new concentrations as well. We have a great faculty that are extremely active in publication. We're also deeply committed teachers. And so we're really interested and invested in working with students one-on-one, like Professor Faze was saying. It's there's a real close mentorship relationship that happens at the master's level. Here's just 5 recent books from our faculty that have come out, including one at the bottom corner there by Professor Faze herself on a discourse-based approach to English grammar, which was kind of a field-changing book that came out. So, so we're very proud of our faculty, and you would get to work with them if you came to be with us. So, and also Professor Faze just won the teaching award, the campus-wide teaching award this past year. So we're also very proud of her for that. Our students, so our students are involved in a range of scholarly projects. They're really active scholars, which is exciting to me. I did a master's degree, sort of a separate master's degree myself, and it kind of just felt like extended undergrad in a way. But our program, like our students are just like ready to go. They're just like, let's get out there. I want to go to a conference. I want to like do some research and publish it, So there's a lot of kind of energy among our cohort. Here's just a couple of recent MA theses. The artist Banksy, Banksy Rhetoric and Revolution was a super interesting thesis. Someone did a critical discourse analysis of anti-immigrant rhetoric in Trump's speeches. Again, sort of really timely, like TC was saying. Embodied narratives in video games, the stories we write as we play, was a really interesting one. And then, someone also wrote about Superman comics. So there's a lot of possibilities. If you want to write about, old canonical literature, there's a space for Shakespeare, right? Professor Jenny Anderson is teaching a class this semester, on Shakespeare and the Game of Thrones, which, everyone jumped on, and it's really interesting. So there's just a lot of innovation going on among the faculty and among our students as well. Our students also present at conferences pretty regularly. Here's just a list of a few of them. That's me with a graduate student a couple years ago at a conference at UCLA on disability studies. So, students and faculty are going to conferences together. They're presenting on panels together. It's just a really nicely kind of integrated and exciting program. We also, like the Communication Studies Department, offer a teaching assistant program that's very heavily mentored, where students either get to teach their own composition class, freshman composition, and if they're a literature person, they get to teach a GE literature class on diversity and the literature of diversity and social justice, which is a brand new class that we're really excited about. Our students also often work in the 2 writing centers we have on campus. We have internships that students can do working with professors in undergraduate classes if they're interested in teaching. There's also expanded opportunities for people doing like public and professional writing. We do workshops all the time. Like this fall, we're doing one on how to apply for the PhD for students who are interested in that. Not all of our students are, but we're bringing in panelists to kind of talk about who actually on PhD admissions panels and can kind of give us some insight into that. We did one last fall for students interested in working in the community colleges, where we brought in alumni to talk about their experience and how to kind of approach the application process and interview process for teaching in community colleges. Our alumni go on to do all kinds of things. Our students end up being the outstanding graduate student a lot, which is pretty cool. So a lot of our students go on to teach, but again, that's not the only thing they do. So our students are teaching at institutions across the Inland Empire and also elsewhere. Students have gone on to teach abroad, teach English abroad, like at Disney English in China or the JET program in Japan. One thing that's cool about the fact that our alumni are all over the community college system in our area is that they know our program and they know it's really good. And so they're like, we know that if a student is applying from the CSUSB MA program, they're going to be really well prepared to jump into the classroom and be really great. We do have, I would say, not the majority of our students, but a good number of our students, and more of them, are interested in pursuing a PhD in English. And we have a really good placement rate. Nearly 100%, the ones that are interested in going on to a PhD are getting funded and getting in to these institutions. So there's just a list of several of them. We had someone graduate in spring who's now starting at Virginia Tech this fall. We have a couple students at Michigan State. We do enroll people in spring, so if you wanted to apply for spring semester, you would need to get it in by December 15th. I think I'll stop there to make sure everybody has enough time, but I will be happy to answer other questions that people might have if we have time at the end. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Luck. Now Professor Correa will talk about our Spanish program. Did you want me to share my screen or?
Let me try sharing my, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Let me try sharing mine, but I don't have it. No, you're gonna have to help me with this.
Okay, so I'll project your slides and you tell me when to change. Yeah. Okay. All right.
All right. Good morning. I'm Professor Correa, and I'm the graduate coordinator in the Spanish for the Spanish program. And I'm also probably one of the oldest faculty members in the whole university. This is my 35th year. So I can really help people with all kinds of advice. Anyway, our program design is a 2-year program. It's preparing people to teach at the community colleges and to continue for their doctoral programs if they want to. Next, we have the 2 tracks. We've also just revamped the program. So we have the literature and linguistics. And we also just, I think, many of the things that Jessica from the English said previously apply also to the foreign language, that it is not just about teaching, it's a great deal about working in any kind of field in the world. We prepare students, we've given them tools, not for a particular profession per se, but to be ready for the world, to speak well, to think well, to write well. And in our case, we are requiring our students also not only to be doing well in English and Spanish, but they also have to have a 3rd language. So in that case, you're going to be trilingual if you care to be. Next poster. So the admission to the program would be, I think they've just been changed by the school. It used to be 3.0, now We can go as low as 2.5. We need official transcripts. We need 3 letters of recommendation. And then we have your statement of purpose that has to be in English and another one in Spanish. That way we are certain that you are competent in the language when you come in. What we're finding is that quite a few people these days are changing from other careers to Spanish or to complementary or doing 2 masters. Many of our own graduate students are finishing here and then going for a credential, or finishing and then going on to a PhD. This conditionally classifies when somebody has much lower GPA than expected, but has great letters of recommendation, and we can appeal to the dean and say, we're going to try it out for a while and see if they can work. And we have some cases where we probably somebody else would have given up on a student, and we have some really surprising results to be able to get someone for 2 years, just guide them in a way that they can flourish. Thank you. Next. Yeah, we do have the teaching assistant program, and most of these kids really need, that I don't remember. It's been so long since I did my PhD, but I remember that our teaching, our TA programs then were just, they'll throw you in the classroom, and you have to figure out how to teach, and you learn by making horrible mistakes. We have a very guided program here for the people who are going to be graduating, for the candidates, and they have guided TA-ships. Next person.
Next.
Yeah, no, this is fine. So the requirements are you advance to candidacy. There's a particular program that you need to follow, and I guide you on that. You need to complete 31 units of the semester now that we are in semesters. We will continue to ask that you keep an average of a 3.0 as minimum for all classes. You need to complete at least 1 year of the third language, and there's a series of courses that need to be a kind of culminating experience. We have now added certain units that go with certain courses in preparation for the comprehensive exam. We do not have a thesis, but we do have our special project, but we do have a comprehensive exam. And for about 3 different courses, by adding 1 unit, we guide you in preparing you for that exam. And there's a writing requirement that is really completed by a successful culmination of the exam. Next person. Yes. Do I have one more? And then there are quite a few things that we do that that are sort of a complement to your academic studies, and it's a great deal of participation in the community. I mean, the university community, which many times draws in the community in general because of the many activities we have. This Latino theater group has become the direction of one of our new faculty members, an international group. We've been to Spain. We've been to Colombia. We've been to Cuba twice, to Colombia twice, to several states here in the United States, and we're planning to be in Spain this fall, and that's going to have to be postponed. But it invites, we've had so far about 5 or 6 international playwrights and theater directors that are going to be here this year, once again, in a virtual form. But it's an incredible group that are beginning to also write their own material. We have the National Society, and then some other clubs that contribute to this idea of creating a community that reflects the community outside the campus. And it's one of the requirements too when we are given scholarships, is that you become a real active member of the many things that we do for the university and for the community at large. Next. Um, and yes, we have, just like all of our departments. I need to tell you this, that years ago, I was at a foreign university, and I chose to come to Cal State San Bernardino, not because of the programs as they offer, not because of the location, wonderful San Bernardino, but because of the faculty. I asked for them to send me. We didn't have computers. We didn't have online things that you could look up. So somebody had to send me a catalog from the university. And what made me decide to come to Cal State San Bernardino was the faculty, was the kind, and we continue to do this. Uh, it's a quality faculty that most of the time you only find at large universities. And the great thing about this is that you can see those faculty, great writers from the English department, incredible artists from our prestigious university someplace else. You're going to find out that you never see those professors because they're always traveling and writing in the little ivory tower someplace. But here, you're running into them every day in the hallways. Amazing people, amazing faculty, great colleagues there. I'll come for your masters here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that great finale. We are done with our presentations. If there are any questions that we can answer.
Thank you, everyone. Go and connect my headphones. Sorry. Yes? No? Can everybody hear me? Thumbs up? Okay, thank you. Perfect. So right now we are in our Q&A session. If anybody has any questions, please go ahead and type your questions into the Q&A chat function. Thank you again for the great presentation. I definitely learned a lot about the College of Arts and Letters. I'm sure our attendees did as well. And I don't know if you guys have any closing remarks before we conclude our presentation.
Do we have any, you're talking to the panelists, right, Jackie?
Yes, yes,
yes. Okay.
Or any additional information that you would like to share that maybe it wasn't touched up on the PowerPoint.
Well, it looks like we covered all of the major points for today, but we are also available, or our great coordinators are available to answer any questions afterwards if there are no immediate questions right now. And yes, and then Professor Corrigan can also share his, all right, his contact information. Oh, right, thank you. Professor Corrigan just shared everybody's contact information. Thanks so much for that. So these are our email addresses. Please let us know if you're interested. We can send you more information. We can actually have you maybe talk to our grad students if you want to talk to our students more directly. I think that's a great idea. We could also arrange for that.
Perfect. So yes, I did see the contact information, the emails from each one of you. So that's great. And then also for any of our attendees who's interested and they don't get the opportunity to get this information, just go ahead and reach out to the Career Center, and then we have that information as well. We would be more than glad to share it with who asks. Okay, and then we have our going next outside of our Q&A. So we do have basically what would you like to see for future events? How help us pretty much improve our events virtually, and hopefully once this whole pandemic cools down, we can go back to campus, and let us know your feedback about that as well. And then going next to our next slide, we do have a graduate program information session that's going to be held on Thursday, October 1st. So we still have a little bit of time for that one, but it's better to be prepared and know this information with ahead of time so we can all schedule our daily task accordingly. And this information session is going to be from 12 to 2, and you get to meet graduate program coordinators, and then you can ask about program descriptions, application requirements, and how to submit a competent application as well. The QR code is there for you to register for this webinar. It will be online. And if you, again,